Welcome to the first episode of FBC Air. I'm Jack.
And I'm Colton.
For our first podcast, we'll be talking about COVID-19, sports, the Lower Dolphin, and current events. So let's get right into all of it. So first, we're going to focus how school is working, for everybody with how COVID is. Right now. Sorry, Colton, what were you saying?
It's just definitely really tough. I mean, I know for everybody, just the system, teachers, students, it doesn't really matter. It's just very tough to be virtual all the time. Even though we are hybrid, it's still pretty tough. And I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to be hybrid. But hopefully we can get back into school some point in the future.
Yeah, you're right. We had a little point a few weeks ago where everyone had to go home for a little while. It looks like a lot of people are going home right now. Like my health class, it's just one person and me, and that's it. It's only two people. Everyone else is gone full online.
Yeah, I have a good bit of classes where I have less than 5 kids in there with me, and I've heard of people that have, like you said, 2 people in there. And I mean, you always hear people say humans are social creatures. So it's really tough to just, for me and for everybody else, to just be inside of your room all day. Even though you're Zooming with people, it's just not really the same. But I think as long as we support each other, we can definitely get through it. And with the vaccine, and we'll talk about the vaccine later, but there does seem to be light at the end of the tunnel.
So yeah, with the, like you said, the vaccine coming out, we'll talk about it in a little bit. It definitely seems like there might be a good on the horizon.
Yeah. So sort of a subtopic of this, Jack, how much longer do you think we're gonna be in this hybrid situation? When do you think we'll be fully open? And do you think we'll have kind of another hiatus where we're completely virtual?
I'd want to say, say we're still going to be in school and still, have people online and stuff. But now with everybody, like we just mentioned, everyone going home, it feels like they might just put us all online again, which I'm kind of worried about because it definitely doesn't work as well as being in person. So I hope we still do the hybrid at the very least. But I don't think this year, even if they come out with a vaccine, I don't think by this year they're going to. Depending on when they come out with the vaccine, I think by this year they're still not going to have every single person into school. I think there's still some parents who are going to be worried about their kids. Let's say everything turns out great, they make a vaccine, it works 100%. I still think some parents are going to keep their kids online, and some teachers just don't have to work with the online kids just because parents are worried maybe it isn't 100% effective and they want to keep family members safe. So I think even if a vaccine is created, I think we're still going to have portions of online. Everything's perfect. I think we're still going to have portions of online kids.
Yeah, I definitely don't think coronavirus is going to just end. We're not going to be post-COVID for a pretty long time. I think I am still optimistic that even though, as you said, there will be some people that stay online just because they have a pre-existing health condition or something, or grandparents, there still will be some people that remain online, but I think I'm still optimistic for, in the spring, April, May, that eventually we will get back to everybody, or everybody for the most part.
Yeah, so that's what I'm really hoping for too, just getting everybody, at very least from me. I don't focus very well online, so I hope I can at least get in every single day and get others, because I know I'm not the only student like that.
Yeah, focusing is definitely pretty tough.
Definitely a big issue with the whole online issue.
Okay, so as we already mentioned several times, the vaccine has, it's been approved. We'll talk about that later. But how do you think it's gonna work? I think I've been hearing that it's gonna be given to the frontline workers, the health workers, and then the people with pre-existing health conditions that could potentially be affected. But what do you think maybe a potential timeline is for this whole vaccine thing?
I think they're gonna try to get out the vaccine, like you said, people in the front lines, as soon as it's can be widely released to people. I know As far as I've heard on the news a little bit, there's already the vaccine that's in development. They've already started selling it to some people. They're testing it. They're selling it in like bulk, like some of their bigger places, like some countries. So I think if this vaccine works out, there's still side effects that are shown on people. The side effects, most of them are like signs that your body's like fighting the disease, which is building up the immunity. So I think maybe near the end of the school year, like maybe a month or two left in school, we'll start to have that vaccine getting out to at least a good portion of the population enough to like get kids in. At least I hope. But then there's also a side where the vaccine isn't 100% effective yet. They don't know. They're still testing it. It just really depends. Like you have to check. We'll have to keep an eye on it for the next like weeks coming up, how well the vaccine is doing on people. And even then, I know like my mom said, even if like the vaccine comes out and it's distributed to people, I'm not going to be getting it immediately, just because vaccines it's not rushed completely, but it's definitely rushed to some extent because they want to get it out to everybody so COVID can be done with. So I think my mom said that she'd like wait a week or two until like everyone else can kind of see like what are the side effects, what actually happen, like if there's any underlying side effects they don't know of yet. That's what it's got me. But I know a lot of people are trying getting it as soon as they can.
Yeah, and like you said, a lot of people seem to be worried about how it has been rushed, but it kind of had to be that way. I mean,
oh yeah, I
there hasn't been a vaccine that has been needed as much as this COVID vaccine for a while, so it does make sense that they did rush it. But so far, from what I've seen, there, like you said, there is some minor side effects, and it's not 100% effective. I think I heard like 94.5% effective, which is pretty good, not 100% obviously, but so far I think it's so far so good, not perfect, but I think good so far.
Yeah, I'd say 100. I agree. Yeah, it was definitely rushed for good reasons, and they definitely are putting in the work, and I'm actually kind of excited because just hearing the word vaccine is always definitely a benefit to hear that around this. So maybe we can get back to normalcy soon. Well, soon within the next like a year.
You want to get into some current events?
Yeah. All right. So the FDA approved the Moderna's, I think I'm pronouncing that right, the company, the COVID-19 vaccine, like we just mentioned. That I'm not exactly sure I mentioned. Yeah, they've approved it, so they're gonna start testing and getting that out to people, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. And they already have in the UK, I believe.
Oh, in the UK, I didn't even know that. Yeah, so that's
they've started actually giving it. I don't know about other countries or when exactly the United States plans to give it out to the first set of people, but I know the UK has.
So I know that's good to say because they're pretty similar to us in some respects, so we could probably be a good test, see how it works in communities. All right, the Electoral College votes to confirm that Joe Biden will be our next president. I mean, that should have happened a while ago. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I lean more right, but like my issue with like a lot of this election was like, I mean, every single election there's always been someone saying, "Oh no, he cheated, she cheated," like it always happens. It was gonna happen this year. It's gonna happen every year. There is some cheating to some extent. Like every single election, there's been some, but it's not like the main person doing it. So it's like I don't worry about it. But the problem with this thing was like just get defeat humbly. It's an election. These people are the same people making fun of people. Like I said, I'm right leaning, but like these are the same people making fun of people for like getting mad that when people got mad that Trump won, these people were making fun of people that they were getting mad that he won. Now they're getting mad that Biden won.
I completely agree. I think to some extent there's tampering in every election, but it probably didn't affect the
so like it didn't affect the bottom line that much.
Final result.
Like we were gonna redo this recount and be like, oh, Trump got every single vote in America. Like no, it was there'd be a little bit of wavering, but like not that much. Like it wasn't gonna be anything crazy. And then I was always thinking it's funny because I'm like driving around and I always see like the Trump 2020 signs. I'm like, come on, back it up. He lost, lose gracefully, just like just put it in storage, write a little 4 on it, and then just like put it away. Like he lost, just lose with some defeat. Like I said, I'm right leaning, so I'm not trying to like put my political views on anyone, but like just lose with some defeat.
To be honest, I'm glad that whole thing is over. There's been a lot of politics. And I just don't, as a teenager, I don't really, I mean, obviously I should care and I do, but it was pretty overwhelming with all the politics swirling around and it seemed like it was affecting everybody.
Like, I think it's so funny. Like, yeah, like as a teenager, like we're not voting yet, but we should like still stay up on current events and like be informed about it, but like some kids take this like so seriously. It's like you can't even vote yet, and
Yeah.
like when you talk, like just like stay like you should say you should be knowing about our government's politics, like what's happening in our world. But like they get a little bit too heated for something they can't even vote in yet. Like
Hmm.
I just think it's funny. So yeah, I agree with you. I'm happy this is kind of finally gonna be over with soon.
Hmm. And I'm just looking out my window right now. It's still snowing here in East Hanover, Pennsylvania. So what are your favorite snow activities that you might do this afternoon, or do you stay inside more? What are you gonna do?
I probably they got a fire going in my kitchen. We have a little fireplace in there, so there's fire. I'm probably gonna pull up a chair and get some hot chocolate and sit by that. I used to like playing the snow when I was younger, but now I only see it as like, oh, I'm gonna have to go shovel that when it's over. Um, so now I'm more of a homebody when it comes to snow. I like looking at it. It's fun to see, but I like just being living warm in my house for a little while. What about you?
Yeah, I still think I'm gonna go out and sled once this snow
Oh, sledding for
accumulates,
sure. Yeah.
for sure. Maybe have some snowball fights, but afterwards, I completely agree. I'm gonna go home, make some hot cocoa, and sit in my family room,
Yeah.
probably watch some TV. Uh,
That's always the best part about it.
yeah, I heard we might get like over a foot of snow,
Oh, really?
and yeah, for what you said about shoveling my driveway, probably longer than a whole football field. So
I've always thought about that. When I see it, like I'm driving, I'm like, dang, it would suck to
yeah,
to do
I
all that.
might be out there for a while these
Uh,
next few days.
so I'm except my older sister just came home yesterday. So yeah,
Mhm.
my oldest my sister one of my sisters 2 years older than me, so she's been staying home from college. She came during Thanksgiving and she did her finals here, and then she is staying for Christmas break. And my oldest sister, she came for Thanksgiving, left to do her finals back at school, and then she came back yesterday. So Matthew, she'll be back, so we can have another hand at our house because my dad had to leave for a business
Yeah,
trip.
more
So
help, more help for
more help.
shoveling.
Yeah.
All right, so our next segment is professional and college sports. We have a full slate of football this weekend, whether it's NFL or college. So I'm just gonna start off with some of my predictions for NFL games, and then later the college football games. So we got Thursday night tonight. The Raiders are playing the Chargers. I got the Raiders in a close one, 35-32. And then my Eagles, this was very difficult. Jalen Hurts recently, last week, he was named starter. He had a great game. It's a great Saints defense. I think they'll continue that. And I think they'll beat the Cardinals 31-27. Graham's number, if you guys don't know, is the largest number ever created by man, not counting infinity because that's not a number, but it's the largest number of all time. It's so big that if someone comprehended how big it was, their mind would collapse into a black hole. And this is the amount of points I think the Rams are about to put up on the Jets defense. This game won't even be close. Jets lost by 37 last week. They might be the worst team in the history of the NFL.
Man,
And
you're ruthless.
yeah, I'm sorry. I just don't like team. They're tanking for Trevor Lawrence. And what tanking is, if you don't know, they're basically trying to lose. The players aren't trying to lose, but the organization is, just so they can get a higher draft pick and draft the best player out of college. And then the game of the week on Sunday, Chiefs Saints. I actually don't really think this one is going to be close. If you saw what the Eagles did to the Saints, I mean, it ended up being a close game, but the Eagles were in control of that one. So I don't think the Saints are really going to put up too much of a fight against the Chiefs. I got Chiefs 38, Saints 21. Now we get into some college football predictions. We are in conference championship week, one of my favorite weekends of the year. College football has been a little bit complicated this year with COVID cancellations and certain conferences starting at different times. So USC in the Pac-12 was going to play Washington, but Washington had to cancel for COVID reasons. So Oregon's stepping in. I think USC will beat Oregon in a barn burner, 28-27. I'm a little bit of a Northwestern fan. My mom went there, but I do think they'll be losing to Ohio State 37-27 in the Big Ten championship. Go Cats. In the Big 12, Oklahoma plays Iowa State. Oklahoma's been on a tear lately. I think they'll continue that and beat Iowa State 45-24. And Clemson plays Notre Dame, a repeat of maybe the game of the year back in early November. And I think Clemson will come on top in this one, 38-31, and get revenge. Both of those teams probably going to make the college football playoff. And lastly, the SEC championship. I don't think this one's going to be close. I got Alabama 69, Florida 0, because Florida is not good. Just lost to LSU, and Alabama's offense is one of the best offenses I've ever seen.
All right. Well, there you go. I said it's pretty good predictions all in all.
Thank you.
We'll have to go back during our next recording and see how well you did.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah. I'd like to tell you how LD sports are looking, but if you don't know, they have been canceled due to COVID until January 6th. So I'm hoping that doesn't get pushed back anymore. And for the meantime, it does not look like it will. But so yeah, LD sports will be on hold in the other activities, right, Colton, or is it just sports?
Well, it's just sports for school, but
yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was just sports for school. I just want to make sure. But yeah, they will be they'll be on hold until January 6th, but then they'll be back with us, hopefully.
And in future episodes, hopefully starting on January 6th, we'll be having a segment on LD Sports talking about how they're doing, but obviously we can't do that now because they aren't there. Yeah. All right, folks, that was our first episode of FBC Air. Thank you for tuning in. We'll try to get an episode out every week, probably on Wednesday or Thursday. I think it went pretty smoothly. I think you did a great job, Jack.
Thank you. You too. I'd say also, if anyone has any recommendations, any talking points I think we should, I believe this will be posted on our YouTube unless plans change. But in the meantime, as of recording, this will be on our YouTube. So if you have any ideas of what we should talk about or anything you want to see on this, just put in the comments and we'll try to look at it and see, and we'll consider it.
Yeah, and we got to tell Mrs. Morgan, our teacher, to turn the comments on so our fans can tell us some ideas that they'd like us to discuss.
I think we got to get a name for them, Colton, a little name for our fans. We'll decide that next podcast.
Yeah, we'll figure that out later. All right, everybody, have a great snow day and a great weekend. Watch a lot of football, play in the snow, and help shovel.
Thanks for watching,
everybody. See ya.
Yeah.